The village was nestled between towering mountains. It was a peaceful place. The villagers were happy. They farmed the land and raised cattle. Life was simple. But now a shadow had fallen over the village. The well, their only source of water, had run dry. Days turned into weeks. The once bountiful well remained dry. The villagers were desperate. Their crops withered under the scorching sun. The animals grew weak with thirst. The children were too tired to play. They watched their parents with worried eyes. The village elders held a meeting. They discussed possible solutions, but every suggestion seemed impossible. Hope was fading with each passing day. The villagers feared for their future. They needed a miracle. Ayaan and Mira were the most adventurous children in the village. Ayaan, with his unruly brown hair and bright, curious eyes, was always full of energy. He loved exploring the hills surrounding their village. Mira, with her thoughtful gaze and a constant companion, a worn-out notebook, preferred unraveling mysteries from the stories told by the village elders. Despite their different personalities, Ayaan and Mira shared a special bond. They were best friends, always ready for a new adventure. They couldn't bear to see their village suffer. They were determined to help. One evening, while everyone else was gathered in the village square, Ayaan and Mira met secretly. They whispered plans to each other. They had an idea. It was a long shot, but it was their only hope. As the first rays of dawn kissed the mountain peaks, Ayaan and Mira slipped out of their homes. They carried with them the hopes of their entire village. Ayaan carried a bag filled with food and water. Mira clutched her notebook and a small pouch filled with charcoal from the extinguished village fire. The air was crisp and cool. The sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, but the beauty of the dawn did not distract them from their mission. They knew that time was of the essence. They had to find water and fast. With determined steps, they walked towards the mountains. The mountains that had always been a source of comfort and familiarity now loomed large and menacing. Their journey had begun. The path was steep and treacherous. Jagged rocks jutted out from the earth, threatening to trip them. Thorny bushes tore at their clothes. The sun beat down on them relentlessly. Ayaan, with his boundless energy, raced ahead. He scrambled over boulders and leaped across narrow crevices. Mira, though smaller in stature, was no less determined. She used her agility to navigate the treacherous path. She used her notebook to brush away cobwebs. Her sharp eyes spotted loose rocks. As the sun climbed higher, the heat became almost unbearable. Their throats were parched. Their legs ached with exhaustion. But they dared not stop. They pushed on, fueled by hope and their love for their village. After what felt like an eternity, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a weathered stone marker. It was ancient, its surface covered in strange symbols. The symbols were unfamiliar to Ayaan. He had never seen anything like them. Exhausted, they collapsed in the shadow of the marker. Ayaan reached for his water pouch. It was empty. Despair washed over him. They were lost, tired and thirsty. Their mission seemed impossible. Mira, however, was drawn to the marker. She pulled out her notebook and the charcoal. She began to meticulously copy the strange symbols. She had a feeling. These symbols were important. They held the key to their quest. As Mira copied the symbols, she began to notice a pattern. The symbols were not random. They resembled the constellations her grandmother had shown her in the night sky. Excitement bubbled inside her. Could this be a map? Mira spent what felt like hours deciphering the symbols. She matched them with her knowledge of the constellations. She traced her fingers over the markings, her brow furrowed in concentration. Ayaan watched her with a mix of admiration and impatience. Finally, Mira gasped. "I've got it!" she exclaimed. "This marker is a map. It's leading us to a hidden source of water." Ayaan's spirits soared. Renewed hope filled their hearts. With Mira leading the way, they set off once more. The map led them deeper into the mountains. They climbed through narrow passages. They crossed precarious bridges over deep ravines. The journey was fraught with danger, but they never lost hope. They knew they were getting closer. Finally, they arrived at a secluded cliff face. The map led them to a wall of solid rock. They were puzzled. Was this a dead end? Had the map led them astray? Mira refused to believe it. She examined the wall closely, then she noticed something, a small, almost invisible indentation in the rock face. It was barely noticeable, but it was enough. This was the entrance to the hidden source of water. With bated breath, they pushed against the indentation. The rock wall yielded to their touch. It slid open, revealing a dark opening. Ayaan lit a torch. They cautiously stepped inside. The air was damp and cool. The passageway was narrow and winding. As they ventured deeper, they heard a faint sound. It was a low rumble. It grew louder as they progressed. Their hearts pounded with anticipation. What would they find at the end of this tunnel? Then, the tunnel opened up into a vast cavern. In the center of the cavern flowed a river. It glowed with an ethereal light. It was a sight of breathtaking beauty. Ayaan and Mira stood in awe. They had found it, an underground river hidden deep within the heart of the mountain. They cupped their hands and drank deeply. The water was cool and refreshing. It tasted like hope. They knew what they had to do. They had to find a way to bring this water back to their village. With renewed determination, they retraced their steps. They emerged from the cave, blinking in the bright sunlight. Their journey back to the village was filled with a different kind of urgency. They carried with them not just the hope of water, but the promise of a brighter future. Their epic quest had come to an end. They had saved their village.